Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. Welcome to Running Reimagined. For those of you that don't know, my name is Dylan Hopper, and I'm excited to announce that we're going to be going live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's going to be something consistent, so if you can be able to make it, feel free to join in. I really want to be able to have a two-way conversation, just talking about different running topics. Things that maybe you have questions about or want to learn more about. Feel free to message me or put it in the comments below, and then I can be able to answer questions. I could be able to have a live stream and be able to really help anybody who's struggling with those things. So today I'm really excited to be able to walk through kind of the process of how to run a faster 5K, kind of the things from the beginning of choosing the race to the actual race date. They're kind of main components that I'd put in kind of every training plan to be able to run that faster 5K. Obviously, the framework for someone who's maybe running a 25-minute 5K versus someone who's maybe running a 15-minute 5K, the framework is going to be similar. The complexity of the periodization and all that is going to be a little bit different, but these are kind of the main pieces that I'd put in there. So if you're on live right now, please comment below. Let me know that you're here. I want to be able to have kind of a two-way conversation going. So the first kind of beginning tip that I would add if you're trying to run a faster 5K, one, understand kind of the time you're at right now, and then understand the time that you're trying to get, and then two, choose the course that's actually going to help you, achieve that time. So if you're trying to run a faster 5K and you know that room for improvement is going to be really tough, don't choose a 5K that has a lot of elevation gain. It's not going to help you out. And you could be, running more efficient, and you could be, a better runner, and then you end up with a slower time just because of the course. So make sure that you choose a course that's actually going to set you up to be successful. Choose that course. Ideally, and all these are kind of just an ideal situation, you can be able to adjust these things to fit kind of your training plan and where your races are, but ideally you choose like a race that's about 12 weeks out. I say that because there's certain phases that you'd probably like to fit, and again, this is trying to build you to run a faster 5K, so this isn't necessarily just how to run a 5K or to say you need 12 weeks of training to run a 5K. Obviously we've heard stories with people, just they could wake up and go out the door and they can do it. So, but this is how to run a faster 5K. So starting from the beginning, choosing a race timeline of about 12 weeks. And then from there, the first 4 to 6 weeks really is going to be kind of much more easier runs with the goal and the emphasis on running either more consistently or putting more volume into your training. The idea behind this, so say you're running 2 to 3 times per week right now, and that's what you did to run the 5K that you had run. That's your PR. So maybe you try to step that up a little bit. Maybe over the course of this 4 to 6 weeks, you start out running 2 to 3 times per week, just feeling comfortable with that, and then maybe you try to add a day in there. So then by the end of the 4 to 6 weeks, you're now training 3 to 4 times per week, hinting more on the consistently on the 4 times than you were on the 2 times. If you can be able to do that, just adding that volume is going to be able to build up that aerobic base so much more than running that 2 to 3 times per week. And again, this is just kind of an example. Apply this how you need to directly to what's going on in your training. So either trying to run more times per week or trying to run more consistently, because really the key to training is consistency. Is probably one of the biggest pieces to any training plan at any distance is just to run consistently. And then when you're in this kind of 4 to 6 week really base training phase where you're trying to add volume and consistency, I wouldn't put any real interval work in here. I wouldn't put any kind of like, quote unquote speed work in here. This might be more, light to moderate type running. So you might have once a week, you might have, maybe a real light tempo, which means that you're picking up your heart rate just a little bit to that point where you can be able to say a sentence or two to maybe someone next to you, but you're not able to have necessarily a full conversation. You should be able to feel pretty comfortable with this. So it might just be picking it up a little bit from your easy run to kind of mix it up in the legs. You could do progression runs are great in this phase. So that's where you're starting out really slow and then maybe you just build to be faster and faster. And then by the end, you're working a pretty good clip, especially on like long runs. You just building that up slowly, and again by the end you still feel like you could run more. You're not completely exhausted. You're not hands on your knees throwing up in the trash can. So that's not the purpose of that. And then also you could add maybe some fartleks in here, and so you could maybe give yourself a 20-minute say workout and go. You could go you could go 150, you could go 200 meters and just essentially act out like a stride for like that distance, and you're just picking it up a little bit, but you're just trying to really focus on getting good form while you do it, and then you bring it down back to an easy pace, and then you pick it up again, but you're not, it's a real light pickup. It's not a full-on stride. You're not going, race pace. It's just a real light pickup, and then you bring it back down. But using those types of workouts within this phase, you can be able to kind of help build up your running economy and real strengthen your form. So then when you start to add those workouts in there, those workouts that are really going to push you and you're going to have your hands on your knees by the end of it, you're going to be much more efficient through that process, and you're going to be built up a lot stronger, which is going to lead to less injuries. And then kind of to tap onto that within this phase, the other thing that I would make sure that you're incorporating would be to add drills and strides. Drills are just huge, again, in building that running economy and really making you a much more efficient and a stronger runner. This could include high knees, karaoke, backwards running, side to sides. There's lunges. There's a bunch of different drills that can be done, but I would make sure that is one thing that is incorporated within this phase of training, and then really all the way through. But it's a great tool that can help build up that running economy. So when you get to your goal, your end race, where you're trying to run that faster 5K, you're really going to be able to turn over at a much more efficient pace or rate than you did when you had run your previous PR. So that's kind of that phase. Again, we're going over, for those people just joining, we're going over tips to be able to run a faster 5K, things you can be able to do. Choosing the ideal race would probably be about 12 weeks out, starting from the very beginning of all of this, and really it's how you apply it to yourself. And then choosing about the first 4 to 6 weeks of just making it a kind of a base training phase where it's a ton of easy running, maybe some light, moderate type tempo workouts, fartlek workouts, progression runs, maybe strong finish where you're finishing the last, like say 20% of your run at kind of a lighter tempo. Making sure you're incorporating the drills and the strides in there. Strides can be a massive tool to improving form and running economy, and drills as well. Drills can be a great warm-up as well. And then the last kind of piece of this would be that last phase, that last chunk, the second half of your training, that final, say, 6 weeks. I might add a couple races in there. Maybe you're going to do 2 other, say, 5Ks. And the idea of this would be to shake off that rust. So then when you go into that race, that A race that you're trying to run, you have already gone through a couple experiences. You're going to be familiar with the whole process of getting to the start line, warming up, running the race, and different things you might encounter. So then you can make those adjustments as you get to that A race, and really use those, I'd say, 2 races just as kind of tools. And then that's when I might start adding, maybe once a week, an interval type workout, some faster things that you're going to run towards, say, like goal pace, and you might start at the beginning, and I don't want to get too complicated in this, but like date pace, and so that's when you can start doing your 800s, your K repeats, maybe mile repeats, kind of just faster tempos that you're going to start to be able to feel that goal pace that you're trying to run by that A race. So that's kind of a general framework for how you can be able to go out and run a faster 5K. Obviously, the periodization of different things is going to be a little bit different based on like where you are and the time that you're trying to hit. But I think that there's a lot of key components within that I had talked about, from choosing the race to getting that good 4 to 6 week kind of base phase in, with real light work, longer work, more consistent volume, and then kind of tapping into the last couple weeks of maybe doing a couple trial runs, trial races, and then doing your interval work in there, and really being consistent. I think consistency is probably one of the most important things that's going to lead to faster times. So I hope that helps you guys. If it does, please hit the like button. If you know somebody else who's trying to run a faster 5K, whether it's 25 minutes, whether it's 20 minutes, whether it's 30 minutes, 17, 16, I don't care what it is. If there's someone out there who's trying to do that and this might help them, please hit the like button. Please share it. It's my goal to be able to reach and help as many people as possible, and I really think that using the social media platform is the best way to do it. So yeah, and then if you have any questions, please comment below. Let me know, and I'll be able to try to answer your questions the best you can. I'm going to be live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at this time. It's going to be 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, 6:30 a.m. So I'm going to be every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This is going to be a consistent thing week after week. So I really hope that I can be able to help answer some of your questions, and we can go back and forth, and then we can get those goal times. So if you have any questions, please comment below. Take care, guys. Have a great day.